What's up, people? We're back. Episode 21, Mentality Focus. Today, we're going to talk about how to not give a fuck, because everybody gives a fuck about pretty much anything, it seems nowadays. And I think especially, I think Alan is a subject expert on this topic. So that's why I wanted to, I think that nobody is born. I think that nobody's born giving not giving a fuck about anything. You really have to. It's really something that you have to learn. You have to learn yourself. Like, okay, this is important, and this is not. So I am curious in your case, Alan. What was your starting position when it came to caring about certain things, not giving a fuck about certain things, and how did you how did you teach yourself to not give a fuck about anything?
Well, the situation is just like everybody else. At some point, you were born into this world, you start to learn like how to crawl, how to walk, how to run, and we have like all our parents and all the our relatives like around like looking at us, and it's part of growing up that you take the you take the opinions of the other as an important matter because at the end of the day we are social animals. Uh-huh. We want to belong to a group, and the first group that we belong to is the family. The situation comes later because we go into the kindergarten and so on and so on. So now, like from all the familiar circle that we have, like that circle is growing and growing and growing. You will start to meet like people in there. It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter if you're in kindergarten, doesn't matter if you are in your 50s, your 60s right now. And these people, well, they will speak things that they should know about you, and they will say these things to you if they are brave enough, if they have the balls. But most likely, what is happening all the time is that these people is like talking into your backs, and that's a problem because that people that's all the time talking into your backs is because they have nothing else to do with their own fucking lives. And that's the same situation if you are like one of these people that you are talking shit into the back of another one. Well, you need to start to reconsider your position in life and what the fuck you are doing. Because if you have like enough time to do these kind of activities, well, you maybe probably you have like way too much free time, and you need to redirect those that free time and all that strength into another way.
Yeah, indeed. And that's why I mentioned in the beginning that you should consider and think about what is important to you. Gossiping about somebody or gossip is never in any way productive. Gossip doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help any other person. It's just to feel. I feel people gossip because they want to go feel good about themselves, or that they know some particular thing, or whatever. But if you're ambitious and you want to achieve something in life, you have no time. You have no time for that. You shouldn't give a fuck about it. You know, make your own priorities and make them and put them in the right order. There's maybe a handful of things that I care about, but the rest of the things, I really, when somebody mentions to me something trivial, to me it's just like, yes, why are you telling me this? Seriously, I it's not relevant in the grand scheme of things. If it doesn't make a difference in my life, then I don't give a fuck about it. So yeah, that is very that is essential to think and to consider what is important to me, and only focus on that. And when somebody comes like, oh well, if let's say, so like somebody in your family or your girlfriend comes to you, oh yeah, well, you didn't do this, or I don't like to do that, but does it make just ask yourself, does this make a difference in my life in the grand scheme of things? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, just forget about it. You know, we all need to have need to have food on the table. We need to have money. We need to be we need to be good fighters. You know, those things they are priority. You know, the relationships with the people around us. Yeah, those are priority. Those are things that we need to invest time and resources in. But things that are not like some gossip, or like some what the Kardashians are doing, that is not a priority. Even football. I used to I used to love football, but when I started to do martial arts, I didn't give a fuck about it, because does it matter? Does it make a difference in my life? No, it's just stupid entertainment, and that's it. You know, focus on things that make a difference in your life.
Yeah, the situation is that, for example, if you start to be like more calculating, you will realize that, okay, maybe the only useful thing that I see about like gossiping is that when you met somebody else that is like totally new, and then you're breaking the ice, you know, after all these questions, like, yeah, like, what's your name, what you're doing and stuff, like, let's say, like, all the official questions that you make when you just met somebody else. Later, like, maybe if you know somebody in common, maybe in that moment, like, you can throw like some gossip, like, hey, did you listen about this and stuff? But otherwise than that, like, to be honest, I do not see it. And the situation is that
but is it gossip? Is it gossip the moment you have something positive to say about somebody? Usually, I mean, for me, what the rule of thumb that I take is that when you speak about other people and they're not present, you only mention things that are you should only mention things that are positive. You know, so as a rule of thumb, of course, you know, when you meet somebody and you know one common person, you say like, yeah, you know, I like this I like this particular quality about that person. You know, it's not classy, and it's not classy in the moment you speak about somebody that is not present in a very bad and a very negative manner.
Well, besides that it's not classy, I would say that is not useful.
Indeed.
And the reason you mention it, if there's somebody that is not present and you start to talk about them, if it's something positive, it's not going to be just a gossip. It's going to be like something positive, because if you are reunited with more people and you are speaking about like this person, and it's good shit that this person is like doing, you know, like, you have a benchmark, you know, for ourselves. In order to be improving, we need a benchmark. Okay, all the time we need to grab something that is like close to us, and then compare it, like, okay, like, these people is like doing this and I'm doing this. His path and your path are not going to be the same. What he's doing and what you have to do, like, to improve, is not going to be the same. But hey, you have a reference. In that case, I will just say that, you know, like, just try to be realistic and choose like somebody to gossip that is like something reachable and close to you, because, you know, like, I was trying to compare myself to Neil Armstrong, so, you know, like, you are going to be quite unhappy when you do that.
Yeah, but still, I ultimately you should dream big. Why you shouldn't dream big? You know, try to maximize try to maximize your potential. That's what we're all about in this podcast. You know, that's what we're all about. It's always like, okay, like, what's the next thing? Like, how can we level up in all the areas that we speak about in this podcast? You know, they're super, super, super important. You know, so, and everything related to achieving that is those are things that are worth giving a fuck about. Football, or like some sports, like some particular sports, like some entertainment, you know, that is not a priority, for people to focus on. Put your priorities straight, and then you know what you need to give a fuck about. You know, and so I understand that for a lot of people that can be different. You know, you might want to become a very good guitar player, you know, even though I don't give a fuck about it, and I don't, for the time being, I don't have the ambition to become a world-class musician. So it could be different for everybody. But ultimately, what you should think about is like, okay, why are my priorities? How I'm going to improve my my character, my like my standing in the world. I'm going to improve my money situation. I'm going to improve my relationship with people around with people around me, with my relationship with women, etc. You should focus on those things. Those are priority that you should work on, and everything else, just forget about it. Personally, that's, for example, that's how I live. If you see, we don't even have a TV in this living room because we never watch it.
Yeah, like the situation, and as you mentioned, it is that the people, they need to understand what are going to be like their priorities. When you set your priorities and you start to move like all your strength and effort towards them, then in that moment you will start to feel like the resistance from the people around you. For example, you say like, oh yeah, you know, like I want to be a lawyer, and maybe like everybody in the household is I don't know, they are medics, okay? Everybody in your household is medics, and you decide to be a lawyer. So immediately, like, your parents are going to say, yeah, you know, like, you cannot be a doctor because everybody in here is a fucking lawyer. So, you know, like, you cannot. So in that moment, that's the first shit that you need to say. Okay, you know, like, I do not give a fuck if I understand that you are my parents and stuff. You have like some expectations that I need to fulfill, but you know, like, I do not feel like comfortable like around like books and solving like everybody else's problems when you cannot even solve your own problems. Okay, like, maybe you make the money like that way and put the food into the table that way, but it's not what I want to do in the long term. I want to change. I want to do something else and stuff. In that moment, this is the first fuck that you need to give, and maybe it's one of the biggest fuck that you need to give. Okay, you know what, and that you do not need to give. Okay, you know what, like, I have my goals. I see myself into the future, like, doing this and stuff. So you know what, like, this shit that you are like telling me, you know, like, there is no focus given. That's it. Like, I'm going to do my shit, and I'm going to focus into doing my shit, and that's it. Then when you keep like moving around for whatever reason, you are going to have all the time these people around you like having expectation about you. The next step is your social circle. You're going to be in there, and if your friends are all the time like consuming drugs and drinking and smoking and like wasting their life, if you want to be with them, they expect you to do the same shit. Then in that moment is when you have to say, okay, you know what, like, I do not give a shit about like what you are expecting. You know, like, you want to waste your life is your deal. It's not going to be mine. And in that moment, like, you will start to pass and pass and then pass people and so on. Now, when you mentioned about the football and stuff, you're going to be like so focused into your path and into your way that all these sports celebrities and stuff, like,
All
you're going to stop
entertainment.
to care about them. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. I remember when we were in the university that the people were coming and saying, yeah, you know, like, let's go and let's play FIFA. Oh yeah, you know, like, there's like all the Champions League matches are starting right now, and let's go and watch them. And you know what? I was like, okay, you know what? Like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm doing my shit. If we are not going to play ourselves into the weekend in real life, do you know what? Like, do not call me. That's it. Like, that shit about like staying in there and playing FIFA, like, it's a fucking waste of time. Okay, I understand if you want to watch a couple of matches from the Champions League, from the World Cup, I understand that. But if you are going to see like all the time, like watching every fucking match and wasting your time, like, oh yeah, like, who won? Who lost? Who is going to the next stage and this and that? You know, again, like, you have like so much free fucking time with your life, and you're like just wasting it. You need to refocus on it. You need to refocus in something else. And with everything, is going to be like the same situation. You will reach the point in where you say, okay, you know what? Like, I do not give a shit about like this and that and stuff because I'm doing my own shit. Sometimes I wish that the day has like a couple of extra hours because like, really, I need them to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same for me. If you're busy, if you're truly busy improving yourself, you have so little time. You almost need 48 hours in a day in order to do all the shit that you want to do. That's just the way it is. And I like the point that you made first. For example, when I stopped giving a fuck, like I'm at this point that if I do something that is out of out of the ordinary, let's say, that I've just like, oh yeah, so what? Like the people react like this, but they've been reacting like this ever since I was young, So I don't give a fuck, But this especially happened the moment I decided I wanted to lose weight. I was fat, I was like 16 years old. I one summer I just decided like, okay, like I need to put my ass to the gym and I need to start working out, and I need to change my eating habits. So at home that was weird. It's like my my parents used to say like, oh yeah, why are you eating like this? Why are you so dedicated to being healthy and to losing all of this weight, etc., etc., etc. And at school, it was the same shit all the time. These fucking questions, all the time. These freaking judgments, And at some point, I was like, yeah, so what? But I look good and you don't. So it's just the way it is. Like I at some point, I really stopped giving a fuck, and that I believe that comes with time. If you want to do something exceptional, you're going to inevitably you are going to have to do things that most people are not doing, and inevitably because of that you're also going to get judgments from them. But you need to it's going to make you're going to become really a really hard person the moment you say like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this. So what? Like I want something bigger, I want something better for myself, and where if the people they're going to judge me because of it, so be it.
Well, the situation is that actually it's hard, but I'm going to give like some kind of trick that is a shortcut, like to reach it. So like you have whatever situation that comes to you, and like you put like some some boxes, like, and let's say is that the first one, okay, like the opinion of this person like is helping me to improve myself. If it's checked, okay, yeah, you listen what that person is telling you. But if it's not, okay, like no fucks given. Next one is that the opinion of this person is helping me to pay my bills and to invest more money into myself. Next box. If it checks it, okay, okay. Let's listen what this bastard has to say. But if not, don't give a fuck. Next one is okay. The advice that this person is giving to me, he's applying to himself. Is his life getting better after this advice that he's giving to me? Again, if it's a check, okay, let's see what he has to say, what he has to offer, and how can I apply that to my life and make it better. But the situation is that if none of these three boxes are checked, well, like you're just wasting your fucking time. Do not give a fuck about anything. That's it.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, because most people they're going to have a judgment, or they're going to have a particular opinion about it, but it comes from a place of it's not coming from a place of expertise, and it's also not coming from a place of I genuinely care for this person. It's just like I'm going to give this judgment because I can. I'm going to have this opinion because I can, even though this person is doing much greater things than I do. I'm going to have my judgment anyway. So the place that they're proceeding from is often very it's just very weak. And that's why you always need to think like, okay, is this person, the criteria that you mentioned, I fully agree. Is this person paying my bills? Oh well, that's so this person doesn't have an influence over me. This person is not like he doesn't have any expertise on this topic or what I try to achieve or what I want to do with my life. So yeah, screw this. Like, why would I listen? Why would I give a fuck about the opinion of this person? And then in that moment, what will happen is that people will that you will disqualify almost everybody in your social circle.
Yeah,
When you and I we discussed, like, okay, like, let's say I want to achieve. We have these conversations like so many times. Oh yeah, I want to achieve this. Yeah, I want to make this happen. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, so what's your plan for making it happen? Yeah, it's ABC. Yeah, but I will never tell you, like, yeah, you're never going to achieve this. Oh, like that's great. Yeah, but that's crazy. Like, how are you going to make that happen? Like, only exceptional people do that. I'm not telling you that. It's like, okay, what do we need to do in order to make it happen? And I'm going to give my suggestions on how to make it happen. Because I proceed from my position of, okay, I care for my brother, and I want him to achieve his goals. So I'm going to give the suggestions that he needs, and also the ideas that he needs to make his plan even stronger and even better, so that he achieves his goals faster. And but that's not how most people they proceed. They proceed through their life, and they're making their judgments, and when they make up their opinions about other people, it's like, oh well, like, I can have my opinion, so I'm going to have my opinion. And this person, I don't like that he wants to lose weight and look like, have six-pack abs and look hot for the girls. I don't like it. He's a geek. He's one of those guys that take his health way too seriously. So whatever. And that's how it goes. Like, the place that they proceed from is not a place of that they genuinely care for you. So why would you give a fuck about their opinion?
yeah, it's what we mentioned like many times. Like misery loves company. Misery loves company, and that's the reason why they are saying all the time these kind of situations. Yeah, like, do not be another person. Yeah, do not improve. Yeah, do not go to the gym and stuff. Because in the moment when you do that, you are going to start to change your life. And because they are not willing to change their life, they say, okay, like, you do not change yours, stay in here all the time, be my friend. Let's be a losers all together.
Yeah, but you should, like, the point of this podcast that we make is it important? Is it relevant to listen to these people? No, it's absolutely not. But it's also what I mentioned in the beginning is genuinely it's. For example, there's a book by Mark Manson. It's called it was an international bestseller. It's called the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a really good read, and I read
Yes,
it.
I must be.
Yeah, I know that you read it as well. Like, it's a fantastic book. I read it twice or even three times, I believe. But yeah, it's a book that you, especially if you're not skilled in the art of not giving a fuck, that you should definitely read that book. It's a must because it will give you a lot more context than we can, for example, here right now, and especially it will give you some ideas about how to not give a fuck, and and how to put your priorities straight.
Yeah, another situation that we have also with not giving a fuck is that in order to not give a fuck, you need to be self-confident, but remember that self-confidence comes from the knowledge and expertise in whatever field that you are, like, moving yourself. Uh-huh. You cannot give a fuck, and you cannot be like self-confident in a field that you have no fucking idea like what's going on. So in my case, I had to say, like chemistry, like that situation about solutions and stuff, like, I know nothing. Okay, I know nothing. Let's be honest. That shit about solutions, like mole, and, well, like this part of chemistry, I don't know nothing. So, like, I will, whoever is coming and tell me something, I'm going to need to believe it because I don't know anything. And that's the situation with the rest of the people. In order to do not give a fuck, in order to be more self-confident, you need to work in yourself. You need to study. You need to work out. You need to train. All of these, you need to put it in order. If you do not put anything of this in order, all these advices that they are giving to you, they are going to be half useful, because you're going to say, okay, this part is failing and this part is failing. This part is like happening. And that's the situation. Like, You need to start to put your life in order. Go back to the first episodes that we have in here, because we're talking about it, and watch it and rewatch it, and then like when you start to put like like these parts of your life in order, you will start to see like how everything just goes like naturally. And that's the same situation with this today's podcast. Like, do not give a fuck. Yeah, well, okay, like like for what, let's go one example, like extreme example, like you do not give a fuck about what your parents are thinking and their opinion and so on, and then you say like, yeah, like I do not give a fuck. But suddenly like your mom or your dad, they decide, okay, like you are not giving a fuck about what I'm saying. Okay, so you know what, like you are living under my roof, and I am the one who puts the food onto the table. So you're going to follow my instructions, so you're out. So, well, in that moment, if you are not working, you are not making money, and you are not doing like anything useful with your life, what's going to happen? Well, you will need to follow what the other people is like telling you, because you cannot do it by yourself.
Yeah, indeed. And that's why I like your point that we should like that we refer back to the first episodes, but because we covered actually quite some points about how to take your first steps in self-development. Like especially because our advice is rooted in our own experience, and I believe self-development for everybody is different, but why we can give people the right tools that they need to do it for them, to do it for themselves, and however they see fit, so
Yeah,
that's
we're giving them the blueprint. That's the situation. That's we're giving you the blueprint. How you apply it into your situation is another story. Because yeah, like the life of everybody else is different. It's not the same situation for you that you were born in the Netherlands that I was born in Mexico, and it's not the same situation for somebody who were like live in Africa and so on. But when you start to take like analyze every case, and then you start to take like the most important pieces of it, then in that moment you are going to realize like, oh yeah, like these bastards, they are right.
yeah, indeed. And it might take you actually a lot of time to actually put the pieces together, and it's like, oh wait, like they told me this years ago, but actually now I understand it, because
Mm-hmm.
there's even things that people told me years ago, that you told me years ago, and later on I was like, fuck, like at that time I was like, no, that couldn't be true, that no, it's not like that, I shouldn't do that, I know better, basically. And then later I realized like, oh damn, like I knew that back in the day because he told me, but I didn't do it because I didn't believe it, so
Yeah, for that to not happen to the people that the audience, I'm going to give you another trick. All the time, like you are doing the same shit and you are having like the same result. So science is science at the end of the day. Um, Make an experiment with yourself. Go out and now do totally the opposite that usually like you are doing. If you are if you are not going out, for example, to nightclub, now this week, next weekend, like decide to go to nightclub, uh-huh, and see what are the results. All the time, like you are texting a girl and say, "Oh yeah, girl, like, I love you," and this and that and so. But try to do it is the contrary. Do not text her at all. Ghost her. Like, if you are like texting her every day for 2 weeks, ghost her like 2 weeks. Start to do like these little experiments, and then see by yourself the result, and then you
yeah.
compare it. You compare it like the result that you have with these little experiments with the results that you were having all the time, and then you see the difference.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed. Because experimenting is always very useful to do, because you're going to have a hypothesis, and you're going to get a particular outcome, and you're going to get some expertise from that. And it's the same. It's actually the same with your health, and same with training. Like you need to try a couple things out before you're going to find something that's going to work for you. You know, it's the same with diet. Like you need to try a lot of different foods to find out like, oh wait, fuck, like if I try to eat this food, like I feel shit for I feel shit
Mhm.
for 24 hours when I eat like that, you know. So actually, on that note, I think we covered everything for today. So we are going to
I
wrap up.
have I have I have one more note actually, and that note is that like for the people like in your case, like we're saying something and they their mind denies to accept it, to believe it. Um, that's totally normal. That's totally natural. When we have like one system of beliefs, usually like we do whatever is possible in our hands to stick to it. Because if we start to move like away from it, it's uh it's painful actually, like inside in the brain, like it's painful, and I mean actually about like physical pain. um so that's the situation. Do
Yeah, that's
not.
also why a lot of people, they don't want to change. Most people, they don't want to change their minds, you know, because
Yeah, that's
there's
so
a
that's the
it's,
situation.
yeah.
We're talking about this and you say no, it's not like that, it's not like that. Okay, do not believe to us like 100%. Go out and do the experiments, and after you do the experiments and you start to feel like this little pain that you're going to feel, then you're going to say like, yeah, they were right, they are right what they're like telling. I
Yeah,
did it by myself and this happened.
yeah, indeed.
So
Experiment, people. So we're on the experiment note. We're going to wrap up. So we're out, people. Peace.
take care, motherfuckers.